Do you remember where you were on 9/11? September 11th, 2001. I was getting ready for work. I was watching TV and the first plane had already hit the first tower. And it was really unbelievable. And as I was watching, I saw the second plane hit the tower and I said out loud, even though no one was there, I said, oh my gosh, there's going to be more. I just knew that it was a deliberate act. That day is embedded in my mind forever. But that's 21 years ago, 21. Now, what about this? Do you remember where you were on December 31st, 2000? The Y2K year? For us, our cat Charlie, unfortunately, was hit by a car that day and we had to put him down. We also went to my best friend's house, Nancy's, for a party that night. But I had also been on a task force at work because we didn't really know what to expect with all of the computers changing to a new century. That was 23 years ago. 23 years ago. Now let's go back a bit further for those of you that are my age. Do you remember where you were when Elvis died? I was with my cousin and my uncle in Barrhead, Alberta. We were in line at the Burger Baron to get lunch. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And he died on August 16th, 1977. That's 45 years ago. 45 years. But my point of this video is just to point out how quickly time goes by. And if we don't act now, if we don't do the things we've always wanted to do, we might not have the time to do them. So in today's video, I'm going to address the top 3 questions that I get asked all the time. And these questions are all fear-based. They all hold us back from enjoying our lives. And as you can see from this introduction, life happens quickly. So let's talk about these questions, learn from them, and get on with making our retirement remarkable. I'm Maureen Dobransky. This is Life Starts at Retirement, where I produce a retirement video every Monday morning. Now, the number one question that I get asked over and over and over again is, how much do I need to retire? Well, I wish I had a crystal ball where I could tell you exactly how much you needed. But really, there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer because no one really knows what will happen in the future. No one knows how long you'll live. No one knows what will happen to inflation. No one knows about the stock market. No one knows really what will happen if you walk out that door today. But what I've seen is that the lack of these answers to that question is how much do I need holds people back. They're scared to retire or they're scared to spend money when they retire. And that's one of my challenges. I'm scared to spend money in my retirement, but I'm working on that. Now, before I answer the question, how much do you need? I want you to think, how will you know when enough is enough? Okay, so that's a weird question, but I've seen so many people say, okay, I need $1 million to retire. And then the closer they get to that $1 million, their goal changes. Okay, well, I need 1.1. Ooh, if I could get it to 1.2, I'd be happy. But they're fixated on a number, and so that number seems to be changing the closer they get. What I suggest then is instead of being fixated on a number, let's change that from a dollar value to funding a lifestyle, which could possibly include traveling, provided for your family, being able to do what you want to do. And when it changes from a dollar value to a lifestyle, it changes everything. And so in order to answer that question, how much do you need to retire, we really need to ask ourselves a series of questions. And the answers to these questions are really financial. They're not emotional or relationships. Take those out of this part of the equation. But first you have to ask yourself, what's really important to you? In your life, you specifically, or you and your partner in your life. And remember, we're just talking financially. There could be any number of answers. It could be financial freedom. It could be golfing. It could be traveling, cruising. It could be gardening. It could be quilting. Whatever it is that you like and what's important to you in your life, that's where you have to go. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's what's important to you. And then you go deeper. For example, let's say you said financial freedom was really important in your life. So what does financial freedom mean to you? Like, really, what does it mean to you? And again, it takes work and honesty. But let's say you said, okay, well, financial freedom means I can sleep nights knowing that I have enough money in the bank to support me. I want to take 2 big vacations a year. I want to join a golf club, both in the summer and in the winter, no matter where I am. And I want to help my kids or my grandkids go to college, whatever that might look like. It's the perfect starting place. Then you just need to determine how much you need to fund these things, how much it costs to take these big trips, how much the golf memberships are, etc. But then the last one, which is really an unknown to all of us, is we need to guess how long we will live. Again, there's no right or wrong answer, but the average life expectancy right now is between 78 and 81. When I'm planning for myself, I use a life expectancy of 92, but who knows? I like I say, I could walk out this house today and get hit by a bus. Hopefully not. But it sounds really simple, but it's really quite a bit of work. But remember, every single one of these plans will be unique. Don't compare your plan to someone else's plan. Yours will be unique to your situation. And I'd love to hear what your plan looks like. What's most important to you? Now, the second question I get asked the most is, what will I do all day? I think I'll be bored. And many, many, many people are bored. Retirement is such a big change in our lives. We go from having a purpose, having a lifestyle that we've had for 30 or 40 years or longer. We go to a job, we're busy all day, we're seeing people all day, we're active, we're out. And all of a sudden, all of that is gone and there's nothing, nowhere to be, nothing to do, nobody to stress you out. And many of us, though, find that we enjoy that nothing for a while. But after a few months or however long it is for you, everyone's different, that nothing can become boring. How will you feel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And once again, we answer this question with more questions. Questions such as, well, what do I love to do? What did I really like about my job? What have I always wanted to do? What would I like to learn? Where would I like to give back? Any questions like that. And then once you have some answers, you need to put yourself out there. Let's say you liked working with numbers at work. Well, you could find a hobby or possibly a part-time job working with numbers. Maybe you could teach others about accounting. Maybe you could volunteer at a nonprofit. There are so many things that you could do to bring a purpose back into your life. Most of them involve putting yourself out there. So when people say, I could be bored, what will I do all day? I say, find your passions and incorporate some of them back into your life. Usually in a different way than you did before you retired. And then the third question I get asked the most is, and this is for the married people or people who have a partner in their lives, and they often say, I'm concerned about spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with my spouse. How will we figure this out? And honestly, that can be a very challenging question. First of all, I say communicate. Share your expectations and your thoughts, both about what you'd like your retirement to look like, and be sure to include your finances. And then how it might change when you do retire. Be honest, but be respectful. Not everybody is at the same stage as you are. Then second, I also encourage you to have separate activities and separate friends, as well as joint activities and joint friends. And that's easy for an outgoing person to do that, and it may be more difficult for someone more shy or more introverted. But no matter how you do it, it seems to be a common tip in helping your marriage in retirement to maintain separate activities and friends over and above your joint activities and friends. So if you're a golfer, or both of you are golfers, you may want to join the ladies' league and he could join the men's league as well as golfing together. You would meet ladies, he would meet men, and have a bit of a separation through that. If you're a hiker, maybe you want to join a hiking league and he's not. That's perfectly fine. It's actually a lot of fun. And then one other thought is, and a subscriber here told me this, was to create a compelling future together. So to set some goals, maybe write a bucket list together, a list of fun things to do and to work on that you are doing together. And this is so great for so many reasons. First, you have a vision of your future and that you're creating together. Second, if you're having difficulty talking or adjusting to being together all of the time. Rather than just sharing your feelings or getting mad at each other, you can talk about your goals and the things you plan, and that brings excitement and fun and hopefully brings you closer together. And then third, also achieving something that you've planned together is really very satisfying and very fun. And then last, I say it's helping me to establish a little bit of separate spaces in your home. For example, I love doing these videos and writing and practicing my speeches. And Ken enjoys TV and his iPad a lot more than I do. So I have my office and it's my little bit of heaven, and I can go there anytime I want. So when the TV is on and it's driving me a little bit crazy, I go into my office and do what I like to do or whatever I want to do. And I've started decorating it a bit more this year. It's a really great place to get away from it all. So those are the top 3 questions that I get asked about retirement and any year. In 2022, those were the top 3, and I'm assuming they will be next year. But by addressing these fears and understanding these questions, we can really get busy making our retirement remarkable. I'm Maureen Dobransky. This is Life Starts at Retirement. Please consider subscribing, but also please consider joining our Facebook group. We are growing our Facebook group. It's at facebook.com/groups/lifestartsatretirement. It's for any retirement related questions, answers, and fun.